Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Marie here from Marie Cooks Up a New Life, and I've come to share a recipe with you today for something which is called lazy chicken. I'm sorry I've been absent for about a week now. I haven't been feeling very well, but I'm feeling a bit better today and I thought I'd share this recipe with you. The other day when I was sharing my big blue binder with you, some of you expressed interest in this recipe from the big blue binder called Leona's Lazy Chicken. Now, what a time I had this morning getting everything together. I found the recipe in the binder and I took it out in order to share with you. You can see it's very well used and splotched and what have you. So I took it out and started to get things ready, and then I couldn't find it. I thought, where the heck did I put it? I don't know. You know, senior brain, these things happen. Anyways, I did find it eventually, as you can tell, and I'm ready to share it with you today. Now, Leona, you might be wondering, who is Leona? Now, Leona is a very good friend of mine, and we met, and I can tell you the exact date for this. We met on the 22nd of November, 1981, about 7 o'clock in the evening. Maybe a little bit earlier. Anyhow, and the reason I know that is, well, it's kind of an interesting story, actually. My ex-husband and I and my older 3 children had just moved to London, Ontario, because my husband was in the military, so we moved around a lot. Anyhow, I didn't really know anybody there yet, and I was very pregnant for my 4th child, Douglas, who is my middle son. And there was a bingo at the junior ranks mess on Sunday evening. I know, terrible bingo Sunday, whatever. Anyways, back then it didn't seem to matter. Anyhow, there was this bingo at the mess on Sunday evening, and I decided to go so that I could get out of the house and do a few things. I was feeling a little bit antsy, you know how it is when you're very pregnant and ready to give birth any day. Anyhow, so I went to this bingo and I sat at this table, and there was this very chatty lady who sat beside me and another lady who sat across from me, and we just started talking, and both of them had just also moved to London, Ontario from other places. Now, the lady across from me, her name was Debbie, and she very gratefully, before the end of the evening, we discovered actually that we lived on the same street, and she offered to watch my children for me if I went into labor until my sister could get there. My sister was living in Windsor, Ontario at the time, which was only about 2 hours away. Anyhow, this lady on my left was Leona. And what a dear, dear, sweet friend she became. We bonded on many, many levels. She was about 16 years older than I am, which, you know, I was only in my mid-20s at the time. She was in her 40s by then, I'm sure. But we bonded, we became very good friends, and a lot of the bond that we had was based on our mutual love of family and cooking and all things home related. Well, she shared many recipes with me through the years. This lazy chicken is one of the earlier recipes that she shared with me. We used to love being invited to Leona's for supper because you always got such a warm welcome. She was the best hostess in the world. There was nothing really fancy about it. It was just good, plain, simple cooking. She was from Doketown, New Brunswick. And actually, I shouldn't say was, because she's still very much alive. She still lives in New Brunswick, and she's still my friend. I haven't seen her in many years, though. Probably at least 25 now. But we do talk occasionally, and she'll probably be just chuffed that I'm sharing this recipe with you today. It's not a very complicated recipe, Leona's Lazy Chicken. The original recipe, which you can see here on this sheet of paper, made quite a bit. It was for quite a lot of chicken, so I've managed to reduce it to a more reasonable amount. And the recipe that I've reduced it to, I've printed out here, and I'm going to share it with you today, and it is for 4 servings. I think the original made 8 servings. However, I can't deal with 8 servings today, and I'm just going to make 4. So the first thing that you're going to need for this recipe is some chicken. I've got a pack here of, they call these, it's called miscut chicken white. Now, they always have these at our local Sobe store. Now, I don't know what miscut chicken is. Either they need to hire better people to cut their chicken up, because there's always lots of this miscut chicken. And I think basically it's chicken that hasn't been cut properly. Anyhow, it's cheaper than the regular chicken. It's still really good chicken, and it's a deal. I think it's a great bargain. It's not that pretty maybe as compared to other chickens, and there might be a few extra little bits attached, like the end of the base of a wing or a bit of the back or what have you. Anyhow, miscut chicken. You can use, I've only ever used bone-in chicken for this. But you can use any chicken you want. You can use chicken drumsticks, you can use chicken thighs, breasts, as I've done here today. Bearing in mind one thing, that if you use the darker meat, like the thighs or the drumsticks, they will require a little bit longer. What was that? Something just fell. They will require a little bit longer to cook than boneless pieces, and the dark meat will take a little bit longer to cook than the white. Now, I've got the chicken breast here today. So what you're going to need is a shallow baking dish, which I have. Now, these chicken breasts are really large, so I'm only using 3 of them. But, you know, if yours are smaller, you could use 4. And they are bone in and skin on. And let's see. See what I mean by odd cuts? There's a bit of the back attached to this one, but you know, it's a nice big huge chicken breast. So you're just gonna, whoops, I should put you down. You're not seeing what I'm doing here. You're going to put that in your dish. This one's even more oddly cut because it's like a breast and I don't know, quite a bit of something else. And here's a breast with a bit of the thigh or the back attached. Let me turn it around this way. Now you're going to want to put those into a shallow baking dish. I'm just going to go and wash my hands because I don't really want to touch anything else. Well, I'm going to pat these dry first while my hands are still all chickeny. So just pat them dry. I like to use the skin on chicken if I can, and the bone on, because it just has a lot more flavor. But you can use whatever you want. And do bear in mind that if you are using boneless chicken, it will cook a lot quicker. Your sauce might not be quite as thick, but it will cook a lot quicker. Sorry. Let me get rid of this. Wash my hands. Get rid of this paper. Leona was such a dear, sweet friend, I tell you. She was quite the character. She used to have this saying that she would say all the time if she was annoyed or whatever. She'd say that she was madder than a hen hauling wood. Now, I have never seen a hen haul wood, but if Leona was, well, I would imagine if a hen had to haul wood, it probably would be a tad bit annoyed. Anyways, I loved that phrase. We used to spend a portion of time every morning talking on the phone, and we just were very, very close. Oh, here, I wanted to show you my apron. Let me just quickly put you up here. This is my apron. This is one that my friend Diana gave me a couple of years ago, and I thought it's very autumnal. We're almost in the cusp of autumn here. It's got my name on it. It's got lovely autumnal fruits and leaves and things on. So I thought it would be very fitting with this recipe, which is also very autumnal. So back to the recipe. Now, it's a very simple recipe. It doesn't require any complicated ingredients or complicated steps. Basically, you've got your chicken here, and you put that in a shallow baking dish, which I have done. You're going to need 1/4 cup or 60 milliliters of water. Now, this is just plain ordinary tap water. You can use filtered water if you want to. It's up to you. And to that, you're going to add 1/4 cup of cider vinegar, apple cider vinegar. Now, I buy mine at Costco, and it's very nice cider vinegar. I forget the name of it. Anyhow, it has the mother included, so it's organic and all these other good things. So this is so simple. You're going to be surprised. I thought I was getting out my spatula, and I got out a pastry brush instead. Just a minute. I'm going to get my spatula. All right. That vinegar is called Mother Earth vinegar. Mother Earth vinegar. Anyways, here's my spatula. So, to the 1/4 cup of water and 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, you're going to add a teaspoon of fresh lemon juice. Looks like more than a teaspoon here, but it's not, I promise you. Don't you just love these things, these lemon reamers? This is one of the things I chose to bring back from the UK with me. I had never seen one before I moved over there, and I was watching a cooking show with Delia Smith one day, and she used one of these, and there was nothing for it, but I had to go to Lakeland and get one of these because she just made squeezing the lemon juice look so much easier. Now, I know there are probably other things that are just as easy, but I love this old wooden lemon reamer. Okay. So you've got your water, cider vinegar, and lemon juice. And to that, you're going to add 1/4 cup or 50 grams of soft light brown sugar. Now, that would be 1/4 cup packed. I measured this out, and it's not going to come out. Come on. There we go. Here it comes. When brown sugar, when you pack it properly into a container for measuring, if you're measuring with cups, it should hold its shape when you tip it out of the measuring cup. So that's 50 grams, 1/4 cup of soft light brown sugar. And as well as that, you're going to need 1/4 cup or 55 grams of tomato ketchup, or tomato sauce as it's called in the UK. Now, you're going to need to whisk this all together. Don't you like this tool too? I'm showing you all my tools today. This was something else that I got in the UK. It's a little wire whisk. This one has silicone covering on the wires, which is to help keep your pans from scratching if you use it in a saucepan. I love them. I haven't seen any of those here, but I'll have to. They're probably here, but I'll have to look. I can't tell you exactly where to get one at the moment. They're the handiest little things. Okay, so there's your mixture that you've got whisked together of the water, cider vinegar, brown sugar, ketchup, and lemon juice. Now you've got your chicken pieces in your pan, and you're going to need an envelope of onion soup mix. Now that can be dry onion soup mix. That can be any brand that you like. It's just the dry onion soup mix. This happens to be Knorr. Lipton's makes one. I don't know who else makes one. There's probably no-name brands in the shops and what have you. You're going to sprinkle this evenly over your chicken. I try to put some of the onion over it first, and then when we get to the powder, I try to sprinkle that over the chicken as well. This is going to help flavor the sauce. So once you've got the chicken coated with the dry onion soup mix, you're going to pour this mixture on and around the chicken. I probably should have waited and put the soup on after so more of it stayed on. Let me get a spoon. I'm just going to spoon some of that over the chicken so that some of the onion stays on. Because you really want some of that. I actually did that backwards. You should have poured the sauce over and then sprinkled on the soup. But that's me. I do things upside down sometimes. Now this is ready to go into the oven. You'll want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And Leona used to cover hers and bake it this covered the whole time. What I like to do is I cover it for a short period of time and then I uncover it for the remainder of the time. So I'm just going to get some aluminum foil here, or aluminium, tin foil. Sorry for the noise. And I'm going to cover my chicken with this. Now 350 degrees is 180 degrees centigrade for those of you who are overseas. So there it is covered, and this is going to go into a 350 degree oven, 180 degrees centigrade for, I would think, chicken breasts don't take as long as the dark meat. So the original recipe said 1.5 hours, and I really think that that's far too long. So I'm only going to put this in for about 40 minutes covered, and then I'm going to uncover it and bake it for another 15 minutes. And there you go. That's Leona's lazy chicken, right? Now, surprise, surprise, I have one that I prepared already earlier to show you, because I didn't expect you to hang around and wait for, let me get a spoon here, hang around and wait for 45 minutes to an hour while this cooked. I'm just going to baste it a little bit. Here we go. Leona's lazy chicken. You'll know the chicken is done when it reaches an eternal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm not sure what that is in centigrade, but the juices will also run clear. And as you can see, it's not like a thick glaze or anything, just a nice little sauce there. Your chicken is perfectly cooked. If you wanted to brown it more, you could leave it in the oven longer, but this is, as I said, it's been baked for around 40 minutes with a tin foil over top, and then about 15 minutes uncovered. So what do I like to serve with Leona's lazy chicken? It goes wonderfully with all sorts of things. I usually like to serve it with rice, but you can also serve it with mashed potatoes, noodles, baked potatoes. It's one of those dishes that goes with just about anything. I actually cooked some rice and carrots here earlier because I'd like to show you this all plated up so you can see how nice it looks when it's plated up. And my rice, I cooked it in my, this is old as the hills. This is a Pampered Chef rice cooker. You cook your rice in the microwave and the rice comes out perfectly every time. And this is brown rice that I cooked in here today. And I also have some carrots, because a vegetable is very nice on the side. And I took the liberty of cooking these earlier as well. They're just basic boiled carrots, and once they're boiled, I like to add a little knob of butter to them, a pinch of nutmeg, a pinch of sugar, some salt, and some pepper. And you can even add a small grating of lemon zest to them. People always say, oh, your carrots are so delicious. What do you do that makes them taste so special? Well, that's what I do. Secret there, bit of nutmeg, tiny bit of lemon zest. So here's my plate. I've been collecting these vintage plates on Etsy. This one is called, it's Alfred Meekin. It's Alfred Meekin China, and I think it's called, my poor eyes, Leamington Rose. Anyhow, I love vintage plates. So I'm just going to take a piece of, well, let me put my rice on my plate first. So I'm just going to put a little bit of rice on my plate. How many times can I say my plate? There you go. And I'm using brown rice today because it's a little bit healthier. So there's some rice. Here's some carrots. When my children were small, I had a little, I think it was like an old tin can that was cleaned and washed and cleaned, but it had a nice sharp edge. And I used to chop the carrots up a little bit for them. They liked them that way. And here is my piece of chicken right there on the side. I'm going to take a little bit of that sauce and just spoon it over the rice because it's too good to miss. And a little bit of it more on the chicken. As I said, if you leave it in longer, the sauce will get thicker, but your chicken might also be overcooked. And I don't know about you, but I'm not a huge fan of overcooked chicken. Let me move this rice back so you can see. And there you have it. Leona's Lazy Chicken. And it really is lazy. It doesn't take much effort to make. It's delicious. It's juicy and tender. Let me get my knife and fork. I'm going to cut a piece here so that you can see just how nicely cooked it is. Oops. Oh, darn. Get another piece out. That one's covered with rice. Anyhow, you can see it's juicy, tender, moist, and it has a beautiful flavor. Now I'm going to leave all the specifics down below in the description box so that you can make this for yourself. I also have the recipe posted on my blog, so you can go there as well if you want a printable recipe. Anyhow, Leona's Lazy Chicken, simple, delicious, very autumnal, easy to make, and something that I think you would enjoy. So thank you very much for coming here today. I'm really happy that you joined me. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and that if you did, you'll give me a thumbs up. If there's anything that you would like me to make in the future, do leave a comment below with suggestions. I'm always open to suggestions. I love hearing from you. And if you haven't already subscribed, do subscribe. I love my subscribers, and I enjoy doing these videos for you. And I'm not perfect at it. I have a lot to learn still, but I'm trying my best, and hopefully you'll continue to come along for the ride. Let's just see how far I can go on this journey. Hopefully, eventually, they'll be a lot better than what they are now. But for now, this is it. These are my videos. Anyhow, I'll say goodbye to you now, and I'll be back again in a few days' time with another video. If there's anything in particular you'd like to see, do leave a suggestion below. Give me a thumbs up. Thank you for coming. I really do appreciate you. And I'll end this, as I always do, by telling you that I love you and God loves you too. Bye for now.